Hello everybody, Sneak Chiefy here. Thanks for joining me. This is another TAW player tournament replay. This is the player in this case is Mr. Monty. We've been watching a few of his games here in Hera's Colosseum, which is a league of a league play kind of scenario where they're playing Hidden Cup 4 type maps, and it's basically each week players will face off in 1v1 scenarios, playing a best of 3, and really it's not no big prize pool or finals round for this one. It's more just kind of a league setup to get players to get familiar with and play top tier style tournament maps. In this case, Hidden Cup 4 is the maps, as I said. So the map in this case is Slopes. It's a pretty interesting one, unique to Hidden Cup 4. Fairly standard resources for the starting players, or starting in the back of the player's TC for herdables, if you will, scattered around. There's berries, of course, gold and stone around. Where it gets a bit different is that to the sides, and you can't build on this little sloped area, to the sides is about 900 food in the form of shorefish and ibex, and both sides. There's also relics on both sides, and stone and gold, respectively, on the left and right. So a lot of players go Indians, as we see. Red, in this case Wallo, has gone Indians to collect the shorefish. They are extremely fast at collecting shorefish, as you can see right here. So probably the fastest way to get food. And it is a risk, because if you look at how far those villagers have to go, Mr. Monty in blue, playing as the Chinese, may be very well aware of why Indians is selected, and he might send his scout out as well as a drush to try to catch those 4 villagers unawares. So there's risk associated with it, though I have seen in watching Hidden Cup 4 that these 4 villagers get out there, collect the food, and run back home before any military is even able to get out on the map. So they're almost done with collecting all this fish. It's a huge bonus, as you can see. Whether they stick around to hunt the ibex or move over to collect these is yet to be seen, though. I think at this point you've built the mill, you might as well collect those ibex as well. Through the middle of the map, you see a lot of stone and a lot of gold, neutral stone and gold. This is meant to encourage players to expand either left and right, and you see the solid source of wood is on the outskirts of the map, or extend forward to collect these other resources in the form of stone, gold, and wood through the center of the map. And obviously you can't wall off the entire map left to right because of the slopes here. So Indian's a big choice. You could go Tartars. I've seen the Britons be chosen here to good effect. I've also seen, what else have I seen on this map in Hidden Cup 4? Indians almost every single time. I've seen Berbers, like I said, Britons, I saw Celts, I saw Vikings the other day, so lots of different ways you can approach this, certainly. Mr. Monty choosing not to go off to the sides. Instead, he's taking what Gaia has given him in the middle. Wallo has scoped out the enemy position at this point. Let's see what he can see. So, a general sense of where his opponent is. It's fixed positions, so he shouldn't be too surprised to find blue is in the middle on the other end of the map. But he'll want to look around and see what exposed resources there might be for him to work with, and he'll also take a look at the sides. I'm surprised he didn't go over here to see if the enemy has gone for the food on the side. And if you see already, Mr. Money has scouted out that his opponent is on this food here. It may even be a pest with the scout. Feudal Age has already been clicked up by Wallo. Mr. Money won game 1, beat Wallo to both Feudal and Castle Age. Castle Age by a large margin. So Wallo probably looking to avoid that this game. Again, I think this is the Shorefish Fast Collection. That's 400 food that Mr. Monty does not have access to. Not to mention the ibex that he's getting now too. So Wallo taking advantage of that to click up the Feudal Age very quickly. At only 16 population though, that's a bit of a risk. Mr. Monty will click up here any second now. At 22 pop, 23 pop, so he'll have a much stronger Castle Age as a result of this. Barracks going down. I think too, seeing Feudal Age clicked up at 16 means that we won't see any kind of pressure in the feudal age from the Indians player. He'll look to bottle up back at home and boom. Though there's a bit of a risk about that. If you don't expand, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage on this map. Indian's obviously a good booming civ and will do great in post-imp. Though the Chinese are a really strong post-imp civ as well. And an archer civ in the Chinese, well, a really flexible civ in general, because they do get camels, but so do the Indians, and obviously that's their strong suit, is the camels. So I'd expect Mr. Monty to go archers if he sees that he's up against the Indian player. We will have to find out. Stable going down, so maybe some scouts. He does have a lot, Wallo has a lot of food floating around. So we could see some scouts. And then Mr. Monty this time is choosing to go militia because he saw these villas out here. But again, by the time they get there, these villagers might already be gone, done, and gone. So we'll see. We'll have to see. 2 militia already out. Mr. Monty's scouts staying nearby. Spearmen are out, as well as scouts. This pressure at home might mean that Monty needs to stick at home. He's also researching. Oh, he's getting spearmen out. Oh, some idle build time there. Good snipe from. Oh, Mr. Monty tried to quick wall that. Mr. Monty's not gonna like this. Mr. Monty has expanded to the right, which is good. And these scouts are being quite annoying, which is bad. But yeah. I don't know what to make of this yet. A lot of scouts on the field. Mr. Monty forced to use his military to stay home. Not what I don't think he intended. Building militia, he wanted to get these guys out here, which will be safe for now. If he was hoping to stay at home, he'd be making spearmen for home. But he's taking what he can get at this point. Good job here, though, using the TC, taking 2 of these scouts out, and suddenly this threat is much less potent. Though there are more scouts where that came from. So, these villagers all done. You can see the power of the Indians in collecting this food. Mr. Monty is exposed on the other side, and scouts seeing that. We'll take advantage of this. Villagers, 5 of them though, forced to fight back. Taking out 1 scout, 2 bills down. They're gonna run home. It's tough because you're running downhill too. 3 bills. Ah, man. He'll probably lose 4 of these 5. Great pressure from Wallo though, I must say. Ooh, that was close. So 5 villagers killed. 0 killed by Mr. Monty. Archery range, so we will see Chinese go archers in this case. Not too surprising. Scouts continuing to be coming out in the feudal age from Wallo, so he's looking to press his advantage. Meanwhile, he's walling up at home and idling these guys, which probably, yeah. Okay. Good counterattack here. Good reaction from Wallo too. Mr. Monty's going to try to look to get some value out of the man-at-arms. I was wondering what happened to his spearmen at home. This is unfortunate though, because this is, it's forcing Mr. Monty to build farms, which is much slower income than shore fishing and hunt. But it is what it is. Mr. Monty obviously needs food, so he'll take where he can get it, and it's quite a risk with scouts on the field to move out here. And look at this, Indian player assuming or maybe seeing that Mr. Monty was not collecting this food. If you scout it out early and you see that the player, the ibex haven't moved around and haven't been killed, it's safe to assume your enemy hasn't gone here yet. So this is a really interesting play from the Indian player. He's going to take Mr. Monty's food on this side. I actually really like that move. Mr. Monty might scout it out though. And if he does scout it out, Mr. Monty does, then he'll send archers over there. Good quick wall here. Scouts continue to be annoying. There are some weak vills in there. Another one down. That's 6 killed. This side hasn't done much, if at all, anything. Another Vil killed. There goes a spearman in there, blocking those scouts a bit. Those scouts just being really, really annoying. Archer's now out to counterattack, which is good. And kind of what's needed, though, there are some skirms there to combat the archers. So Mr. Money looking to do damage wherever he can. He's doing the right thing. He's got spearmen on defense, archers on offense, looking to get as much value from his army as possible and delay his opponent to get to castle. Looking at military tech, nobody's got any, though Mr. Money still needs to get double bid axe. That's a big one, especially if you're going archers. Fletching now coming in from Mr. Money and wheelbarrow coming in from the Indian player, who at this point stopped making... No, still making cavalry. Still making scouts to be annoying. Might be a little overkill at this point. You've done a lot of damage as the Indian player. You've already got some good map control going on. Maybe he's sensing blood in the water, but when you see Mr. Monty with all his army forward, it's kind of like maybe idle the stable for a bit and think about getting to the next stage. I don't know. Mr. Monty is happy that he's knocking Wallo off his only income for gold. And looking to snipe a Vil or two, but that's a good reaction. This is a tiny, tiny little base. So gold is exposed, both wood lines, all three wood lines are fairly exposed to archer fire. Mr. Money's going to try to take full advantage of that. Not to mention the berries, so... Need a player fully walled yet. Come on, get a kill. Yeah, there's one kill. Alright, 7 kills to 1 as far as villagers dead. Mr. Money will take it.
Namaste.
And now the scout's coming back. There's another kill. Great job, Mr. Money. 2 to 7. He's on his way. Fletching now coming in for Wallo as well. Help boost these skirmishers. Still no double bid axe from Mr. Money though. It's a bit surprising. I don't know if he's forgotten. I'm assuming he has because it's just such an important basic tech to get. He is dropping a market probably to help balance his eco though. He's got enough to click the castle age now. He's behind by 2 Vils. Obviously losing 7 has contributed to that number. And he's just clicked up the castle age. So once again, Mr. Monty, despite the pressure, is the first up to castle age. And again, Wallo clicked up to feudal at 16 population. So I did mention that it's just going to be a healthier feudal age eco for Mr. Monty because he clicked up at 23 pop. And sure, it took him a little bit longer, but what was the result of that? You know, sure there were scouts in his base for a little bit, but yeah, I still like Mr. Monty's position a bit more. He's down 3 Vils, but he's ahead in the castle age. He should have a more healthy eco as a result. But the Indian's eco is strong, and Wallo has gotten wheelbarrow, horse collar, and double bid axe. Mr. Monty is missing double bid axe and wheelbarrow still, though he is clicking bloodlines. Interesting. Chinese do get knights. I wouldn't expect to see knights from the Chinese player against the Indians player. But he might just be doing some mind games here. Double stable, so we'll see double stable knights again from Mr. Monty. It is his favorite army comp. So he might be like, okay, let me convince the Indian player I'm going archers. He did have a lot of archers out there on the field. Indians player invests into skirms, and Wallo is building 2 archery ranges, so this trick might even be working. Indians player starts building a lot of skirms instead of camels. Mr. Monty comes at him with a bunch of knights and just dominates. So a little bit of 3D chess going on right now. And even sending an archer out to harass these villagers off his food. Skirms passing right by.
Namaste.
Now for this to work, Mr. Monty needs to hide these knights until he's got critical mass. And so far I think it's working because there's actually 3 archery ranges from red and only 1 stable. So sure he can start pumping out camels, but you can see Red's already teched into fletching and padded archer armor, probably assuming that Blue is going to be going archers. Instead, he's going forward siege workshop knights, which is what Mr. Monty does and does best. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's such a cat and mouse game. Okay, and now cavalry archers. So this might have been Indian's plan all along, is to go cav archers. Hence the three archery ranges and clicking bloodlines, and yeah, so probably is, to be fair, probably the Indians' plan all along to go cav archers. I might be overthinking things here. Red sees that forward siege workshop. Now he sees the knights. Cav archers do well against knights, but only in large numbers. Camels coming out as well, which is natural. So Mr. Monty's going to need more than just knights to win this game. He's going to need skirms of his own or pikemen. Mr. Monty now has double bit axe. He's got forging. And he's got chain barding armor. He's got a ramp. Red respawning with another stable. Yep. And he'll start double stable production on camels to try to combat these knights. Mr. Monty might end up going crossbowmen to augment this. That's a lot of gold units though, so that's why I was thinking skirms instead of crossbowmen. But monastery defense from Red makes sense. Build down. We're now at 7-4, 21-19, 21-20. So KD fairly even. Though these camels have 0 upgrades. Oh no, they got chain barding now. Or scale barding armor. Counterattack from archers, cavalry archers kind of stalled out. Camel riders in response. Lots going on in this map. This ram is probably making all the difference in the world. Forward siege workshop used to great effect, for sure. And a monastery for Mr. Monty to try to convert some camels, which is so good. And there's the iron castle. Oh, look at this! Right when that... Oh, and these two... Ah, it stinks. These two caught out. That's unfortunate. This could have been so much more devastating. But he did kill a couple of those. If he had deleted that house and just rushed in, that could have been so much more effective. That's unfortunate. Another town center going down. Desperation there. Trying to find some eco. There's a lot of food being idle right now. A lot of wood too that you can't take. Wallo can't take. This ram's done a great job staying alive. Monks on both sides looking for conversions. It's such a scary noise, the monk noise. Forcing entire armies to run away. Don't think Mr. Monty's going to be too worried and we'll go in for the kill here. Conversion happened for Mr. Monty, but not for Wallo. Wallo's forced to bring his cavalry archers back. No, they will get trapped in this choke point. Mr. Monty's going to like this fight because he's got some camels mixed in here. It's not just knights. That ram has done such good work. Took down a barracks and a archery range, or a stable and an archery range. Still going, working on that blacksmith. Mr. Monty, 17 armies, 9. The ram finally goes down. Mr. Monty will retreat a bit. Maybe get another battle ram. Yep, it's on its way. Meanwhile, skirms being annoying on the forward gold, but Mr. Monty's got more gold back here. He hasn't walled up that hole yet, though. But I think, okay, another TC. So 3 TCs going down for Wallo. We saw this before in the first game too. Wallo is going for the 3 TC boom approach, choosing civs that are good with that in Indians. Mr. Monty, on the other hand, going basically for the 1 TC forward push with stables and siege. I still like Mr. Monty's position better. I mean, he's in there, he's idling a bunch of farms, he's killing Bills. The Bill kills are now 13-13. And obviously, army in the middle of your eco is not ideal. Great presence of mind for Mr. Monty to spread out and see what's going on the side, so he will see his other TC. Not much he can do about it at the moment. Does snipe another Vil right there, but he can't sit under that TC fire. Using the ram back at home. Trying to run away. Ah, that's forward production building. For Mr. Monty. Not much for him to worry about at home, but these 3 skirms, so he'll send a camel or 2. Be better if it was a knight to take care of him. And Mr. Monty will probably look to get his eco in order, fix things up like these 2 lumber lines. Notice how Mr. Monty didn't take any of his forward wood. Too exposed. He built his 2-3 lumber camps all on backwoods, where they can be protected. Very smart. He'll probably look to, Mr. Monty will look to drop another TC. Meanwhile, so many blue cavalry units in and around red eco, killing villagers left and right. Villager kills now is 20 to 14 in Mr. Monty's favor, continuing to rise. So sure, he loses a few military units as he fights under TCs, but I mean the damage to the eco is huge, and if you look at the score, it kind of tells the story. And if you look at like the health of the eco, it's definitely in Mr. Monty's favor. There's no one on gold right now. You'd expect this. I mean, these guys here chopping wood and farming should be on this gold. Wallo's only got 54. Mr. Monty's got 12 people on gold right at home. None right now for red. He's off his main gold pile and just maybe not thinking to collect this stuff. I mean, there's not much red can do at this point, really. Mangonel will out against this TC. Monk will play defense for any cavalry that try to snipe it. Cavalry continuing to dive in. Now he's mixing in light cap, Mr. Monty is. Cheaper rating unit. Killing Vils. 26 to 14 Vil kills in Mr. Monty's favor now. Sending out trash units as Wallo to snipe this Mangonel, but those spearmen are just so weak. Nothing doing. Mr. Monty's saying, get out of here with your mill. Taking my food. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be GG. I just don't see there's zero on gold, only 54 in the bank for Wallo. He's probably sitting there scratching his head wondering what he can do to fix this. He can't even buy pikemen. There's so many farms idled. It's a tournament game, so he's not quitting, but it's basically GG. Both TC's under pressure. He's probably thinking that because he's got this other eco booming over here, he still has a chance. And he does. It's never over, but until it is. But if you look at the scoreline, it's 29 military to 2, 53 villagers to 45, 37 villagers killed. Mr. Monty hasn't lost a single one since the initial very effective raid back in Feudal Age. Bill's diving out to snipe a Mangonel. I mean, that's a surefire sign that you're desperate. If they get the Mangonel, at least there's that. But they can't garrison in the TC because it's too damaged. GG called. Well done, Mr. Monty. Another victory in Hera's Colosseum. Stay tuned for more from Mr. Monty, from others in TA like Stiggs, who's playing in his own mid-ELO circus. I'll be doing a few more videos from Stiggs' mid-ELO circus tournament here as well. This has been Sneaky Chiefy. I hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.